Recording in progress. So this is everything. This is the only thing there is. But the only thing there is very normal. It's just this. And this is speaking or moving, sitting or a feeling. So this is not a very special thing. You can't look for this because it's the only thing that's happening. Looking for this is also this. So this is a very normal word for just what is happening. And the funny thing is, we're always looking for something. We think, oh, it has to be something, maybe some feeling or some rest or some feeling of liberation or luck, feeling freed or something like that. The funny thing is, it's already this, and this is what is happening, and it is just everything. It can't be not this. So it's already there. So it's finished. There's no need for looking for it because the thinking is also this. So it's maybe too easy because we're, as humans, we're so busy to try to work it out or to think, oh, what is this? What can I do about it? That's such a quick thing that's going on that it can't be seen that just what is going on is it already. It seems like there's such a huge embodied feeling that there's something not right. There's something needs to be done. There's something missing. So there's something I'm not feeling I'm in it, or I'm not feeling I'm feeling outside. I feel not satisfied. So I have to find something then that will be disappearing. All those feelings, we're so easy to also name the feelings. So when there's a feeling somewhere, we think it's in the body, but it's more space because the body isn't real. It's just seems to be a body because we're seeing that body, and then we're thinking, oh, that's real. But it's not only thinking, but we're it's so believed, you could say, that's solid, and you are in that. So that's the person, and you're walking there, and there's another person walking there, and there can be a relation, or people can be saying something, or there are events. So everything seems very real. But when there's a feeling, it's so quickly giving a name to it, or trying to feel it more, or trying to get rid of it, because some feeling seems to be not nice, like maybe fear or anger or irritation, or sometimes you don't even know what a feeling is because it's mixed. Maybe it's a lot of time it's mixed, and it's not so easy to give it a name. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to have a name. It's just that. And when that's changing, then that's changing. There's no need to try to work it out. There's no need for do something with that. It doesn't have to go. And when there's a feeling, I don't want it, then when there's a thought, I don't want it, then there's a thought, I don't want it. That's not wrong. Nothing is wrong. So not wanting something is just not wanting something. That's it. It's nothing is wrong. And that's what the me does in the way that you could say that when there's something going on, and then there's such an embodied feeling like there's something wrong or missing, then when there's talking about this, the hearing is also hearing, oh, what she says I don't have, or I don't feel, or maybe what she is feeling, I don't have that. Or there's always trying to compare, and to compare in that way that me or somebody else has something you don't have, or is able to do something you can't, or there's always a comparing in some way, or maybe the other way around, and I'm not capable and I feel better and you are feeling better than what I do or something like that. So there's also always a comparing, because there's such a huge investment in that you are someone and that you have to find the best way of living your life. The funny thing is that there is no living your life. It's just what's happening, and there's no one doing anything. It's not that there's this body and there's no one inside. It's even worse than that. There is no real body and there is no one inside. It's just emptiness. And it's emptiness, and in the same time it's full, like there's feelings and things going on that seems to be happening. So it's real, it's apparently real, and it's not. It's apparently full and it's empty. So that's the paradox. It's together. It's not one and then two, it's just one. There's only one. But and that's you can't this is not about understanding. It doesn't need to be understood. That's also very nice, but you don't need to understand. You don't need to do anything. There's no need for anything. It's just what it is, and that's already there. So it's the most easiest thing to talk about. There's no need to help people. There's no need to explain. There's just talking. It's just coming. And that's not only here. It's always like that. It has always been like that. So that's also the laughter. When that's so clear, then that's the laughter like, oh, of course it was already there. It's the only thing there is. So it can't be missed. It's just what is. And that's the missing is more the abstract thinking of people, that we think, oh, there seems to be missing something, or there seems to be something wrong. It's always about right and wrong. And maybe more subtle, you don't use the words right and wrong, but there's always like there has something has to be changed. And that can be very subtle. And it can be always something going on like, what do I want? What do I need? That's very important to look for that, or to ask for that, or to be assertive. I always thought I have to be assertive to really say what was going on, or to say what I don't like, or to say what I want. It can happen or it doesn't happen, but it doesn't matter. And that's strange, because when there's someone in this body and there seems to be a life that's lived, then everything is very important. And everything is about me, about yourself, because this yourself is the most important thing there is. There's always talking about yourself and how do you feel, how looking for something, or what do I have to do? What is the best thing to eat? What is the best thing to do? How can I know me or something? There's always something going on, but it's always for yourself, for me. And that's the most strong hypnotic search there is, looking for a state, looking for something, but it's always looking for something so that you feel better. That's more happiness in your life, or more something else, more money, or more feeling free. There's always a goal. There's something going on, and maybe there's also, when you go to a meeting like this or another meeting, then there's a subtle looking for answers, for what can I do? What is the best way, or something that will change that feeling of not being satisfied, or feeling not free, or something like that. There will be no answers in this meeting. There's no help. So there's no hope for something else. That's strange because most meetings and most most meetings are about wanting somebody saying how you can do something to get what you like or what you really want. And this saying, in this meeting, the message is more like it's already there. And this is not about feeling more free or feeling more happy or finding no me. There is no me already. And that, in a way, you could say that the me doesn't want to hear this. That's already this. Because there's so very much investment in finding what you think you have to look for, a goal. And sometimes the goal is not really very clear. The search and the looking for something, that's the most important thing or the most strong thing. And then hearing that it's already this, then a lot of people get frustrated because it doesn't feel free or doesn't feel happy or no problems anymore. So it can't be this. That can be very strong. And the me, what I see as the me is the top of that whole really being convinced that there's something wrong, that there's something missing. And the me, if you could say that, it's helping to find it. It's trying to help to find it. And a lot of thoughts are going on about how to do that, what's the best thing. And even when they're saying here that there's nothing missing and there's just this, then you think, oh, maybe the me said, maybe there's something going on, like, oh, this is it. So then there's maybe a concept that can be very clear. And then you say to yourself, oh, but this is it all the time. But that's something else. And that's the awful thing, that you can't do it. That there's always something going on, like me is always the doer, wanting to do or not to do. That's easy, that can be understood. But when that's not about doing or not doing, then it's stuck. And then sometimes it doesn't want to hear that, because that's the only thing you can. And this is about nothing. This is about it's already there. And it can be also very relaxing. But the funny thing is also that you can say, it's very relaxing. I don't have to do anything anymore. But that's the same thing. That's the awful part of the message, that it's not doing anything anymore. It's the same as doing. So it's also not about not doing anymore. And this is beyond understanding. I saw with Tony Bartlett, I saw the title of his meeting, and I thought, it's beyond understanding. That's it. You don't need to understand. So it's very easy, very simple, and it's already happening. So now need to look for it. But it's not wrong. So the looking is, of course, it's just thoughts maybe. Then that's it, what's happening. Can be thoughts, can be anything. Doesn't matter. So we can talk about this, and maybe there are questions or something to share if you want to. And I hope the internet will be all right, because last week it wasn't so good. And also there's something else. When there's some feelings like irritation or not being satisfied or something like that, that can be there. So not satisfied, but there can be irritation or like that. And there seems to be events that provoke that. how can you say that? And it seems to be like that it's because of that event or that what is happening, or it's because of what people are saying, or like your partner is behaving in a certain way and there's irritation because of that. Irritation is just irritation without any reason. And it's not even a reason, there's no cause, it's just irritation. And it can be there. So any feeling still happens, just like that. Okay, that's that. Now it's the end. What I wanted to say, or wanted.
Rosemarijn.
Hi, Anita.
I'm struggling with the feeling of being not good enough.
Everybody does. Most people. Yeah. That's endless. It will never stop. It's when there's something, there's always some trying to fix that, or to maybe thinking positive, or there's so many ways to try to fix that. The funny thing is, it's a huge misunderstanding. There can't be something wrong. It's so embodied, it's so strong. You can't say to yourself, oh, it's a misunderstanding, because that's just words. That's the, yeah. There's some feelings and there's something going on, and it's so embodied, so it seems like it's coloring everything. So you can sing that. So that seems to be confirming all the time. It's a misunderstanding. There's nothing wrong. There can't be something wrong. It's just what's happening. There's no cause for something. There's no reason. It's just saying something or feelings going on. Just tears can happen. And there's a certain way of having tears, then that's the way, and that's it. It's not like, oh, there, I have to feel it all over, or I don't want to feel it, or it's just what's going on there. That's it. That's perfect, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also followed Buddhist teachings. And then with meditation to get a better self-reference.
Yeah, that's confirming that there's something wrong and you can do something about it.
Yeah.
If that's going on, because it isn't wrong, but it's so strong that and when that's going on, then that's the events, or that's what's going on. Yeah. But it's more saying like it's confirming it, but then some people think, oh, when I'm saying that, then that's wrong to do that. No, nothing is wrong. It's not done by you listening to Buddhist teachings or something like that. Then there's listening to those teachings. So what? And that's what's happening.
Yeah.
It's not wrong. It's just, what's going on? It has no meaning, but nothing has any meaning. But
Yeah, sometimes I can see that in some, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Otherwise, there would be a way like, oh, this is not good to do. Not when you are in non-dualism. You don't follow politics. You don't do therapy anymore. Then all, but God, that's a new way of behaving. You have to behave in a certain way. There's no behaving in a certain way. It's everything. Nothing has any meaning. It's pointless, but it's just happening. Apparently, so that's what's going on. It can be anything. It's not. Nothing is wrong. No, it can be confusing.
Yeah, sometimes I think I have to make a choice between Buddhism and non-dualism.
No, you can't. There's no one. So there's just what's happening. And when it seems like it's important, then it feels like it's important. Yeah, that's what's going on there. That's what's happening.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's not only no one, nothing is real. It's real and unreal in the same time. So it seems to be happening a lot of things, but it's apparent. It's just energy. So we're thinking, oh, this is a body and he's doing this and he's doing that, or she. It's only energy. Nothing is really happening. So it's pointless. It doesn't matter what's going on. And that's only this. So it seems like, oh, there's a past and there's something going on. When I do this, maybe tomorrow it will be different. There's no tomorrow. There's only this. So it seems to be there's a tomorrow or a later on. Or that's so strong. We can abstract everything. So there seems to be a later on. There's no later on. That's abstracting what's going on. There's just this. That's not a new way of thinking about it. It's not living in the now, because that's a way of behaving. There is no after. So, but where's the after? There's just this hand moving. Where's the after? Where's the before? There's just moving. That's it.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Oes.
I have a question about consciousness.
Consciousness.
Yeah. When I now I'm aware, and when I sleep, I'm not aware. So is this a function of body, or what is that?
Oh, it's a function of the me, yeah. It's a function, yeah. Can be, and when the like thoughts also, looking at yourself, when that whole me thing is gone, there's no awareness or consciousness, or I don't know the difference, but no, it's just what's going on. But that's the abstraction, that's the separation also, that there's somebody looking at yourself or looking at what's going on. Always there's something going on like, oh, what am I doing? That's so normal. So there's always something looking at what's going on. And that seems to be the most, that's just normal. But it can be missed. It's not important at all, because what's going on, it's just happening by itself, and there's no need to be aware of it. That's just a function of the me, or that whole survival system. Thinking that when you're aware of what's going on, then you can deal with that, or you can do that, something like that. You don't need it.
You say also the
It
me,
seems.
but you say also the me is an illusion, or it's not real.
Yeah.
There's no me.
It's not real.
Not real.
To me, no, that's not real. It's just, yeah, it's when there's separation, seems to be there's two, so that's threatening. It's a story, but that's a threatening. Like there's suddenly, like a baby, it's just one, and then suddenly there seems to be somebody else, and you are there, so it seems like, oh, in the story, and then they're starting. The brain does something like that. They're starting, because there's a possibility to abstract, then they're starting a survival system. And on top of that, it's creating, in the story, it's how I don't know otherwise how to tell it. There's the brain, or the brains, creating that there's someone, and then you can make a choice. And that's very abstract and very convincing. Well, there is no one, but when a child is able to abstract, then it seems like, oh, this is happening, and the whole world around the child is it's also believing that there's someone and it's talk to them, and then it can abstract from, oh, there's me and there's that other person and there's a whole world, and then it seems threatening, so it needs to survive or have certain behavior to be loved or things like that. And that's very convincing.
So for you, it makes no difference if you when you if you are awake or this change of state from sleep to awakening. Then it makes no difference for you. Then it's not, when this is not real.
Now, the funny thing is, life is just the same. It's just going on the same. The only thing that's not there is that then there's something going on, like, what do I have to do with that, or something like that. But that was already a dream, so that doesn't make a difference. But it's for when that's there, that awareness and that thinking about what you do with your life and things like that, that seems the most important part of the me, of part of your life. And then it's going on, and when see people, and then there's awakening, and it seems, oh, then there's another way of how can you deal with life then. But the funny thing is that when it's not coming, that dream is just not there. Life is just the same. That was already happening in a certain way. That doesn't change. That's the same with you. It's just moving, and it's not the moving or the what's going on. It's not caused by what is thinking or caused by that me or that whole system. That's the misunderstanding. It's just when some added thing there, I don't know where, but it's some added thing. It seems very important and it has no power at all. That's the laughter, that thing, oh, that was my life. It's going on by all those thoughts and all this trying and all that. And it doesn't have anything to do with what's going on. Wow, it's just this. But it's so convincing. And that's the only thing, it's not there. The rest, this is not about a better life, or can be anything. It's just, but there's nothing going on like, how can I deal with that? Oh, what is going on? That's not coming, but in fact, it's the same, but that whole dream, what seems so important, and it's not even seems important, it's just normal. We're so embodied, it's so normal, people like that. Everybody thinking like that. So most people can't hear that it's possible to live without that. It's because it has no meaning at all. That's amazing. That's also the laughter, like, oh, wow, it seems so important, and oh, wow, it's just, yeah, it's a lot of trouble. A lot of energy, costs a lot of energy for nothing. Oh my God. But yeah.
Then you have less trouble now.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. And it doesn't mean it's feeling happy all the time, because that's what a lot of people think when that's not happening anymore. Oh, then there's no problem, so you feel free and happy all the time. No, it's the same. It's just normal. There can be irritation, or there can be tiredness, or yeah. And there's nothing trying to change that also. So it can be very strong also, of course. It's just normal. It's just I'm still human. It's not I am still human, but that it's just the same. Yeah. That's what the me wants, that there's the hope, then there will be awakening or no me anymore, or enlightenment, or all those words. And those words seems to be like, oh, that will be much better. That's the dream. No. It's just life. Pain can be there, of course.
Okay.
Thank you. There's a love for everything, but you don't have to like it. It can be like, oh, I don't like that. Whoa. I was eating in a restaurant and I was getting soup, and it was like, oh, I didn't like that. Of course, that's normal. Or feeling or something, what's going on, that rain is coming. Just like this, just normal. It's just like, oh, there's rain. Oh, that's okay. No, that's a way of living. Oh, wait. Yeah. It's everything. It's everything. But there's such a deeply embodied feeling of I'm not good enough, or this is not good enough. That's not in the mind, but it's so it can't be her that this is it. It's just, yeah. That's the difficulty for a moment, and then that missing or that feeling not good enough, that search for something else, can be so strong, so convincing.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
I was thinking of something that you said at another time about when your children maybe, or your husband, are in the room with you, but then they go out the door, and then there's no children. You know, and yesterday there was a family get together. And I was supposedly the center of it. It's my birthday in a couple of days, so it was a birthday thing, and children and stepchildren, grandchildren, all this sort of thing, and cementing relationships, sort of thing, like making it firmer, making these stronger, you know, lots of presents. And I was born at a certain time, and now I'm this ripe old age, and all this sort of thing. And everything's very concrete, and people telling me their life story, their stories, and their efforts to be, even if it's not a successful life, the fact that they have a life, a solid life, and all this sort of thing, and it was okay, but it was also a strain. And when I left, I mean, it was a big effort to get there. And when I left, I felt depressed, and it was because they all believed in they had solid lives, and sometimes, you know, or successful, and I didn't feel like I don't feel I have a successful life, or right now. It's okay, I'm fine, but so I have to tell, you know, so we're telling stories, so I'm telling a story as well about my life to them, what's going on with me. But then it occurred to me, not only do I have an unsuccessful life in the terms of that they were talking about, with strong, I don't know, it's an odd thing to be talking about, but it occurred to me that I don't have a solid life, and I don't particularly have a successful life. I also don't have an unsuccessful life. Yeah. So, yeah. So so that seemed okay, but it was so much. It was just a whole day full of trying to make things more solid, or fix things, you know, this, you know, our relationships, you know, and how old I am, you know, and I've had this long life, and then the children are growing, and they look great, and they're going to have a long life, successful, and all this sort of thing, and of course I've there's my will. I've written my will, and people will benefit after I've gone, and all this time. Anyway, that I don't think it's a question, but it was just something that came up very strong yesterday about having a successful life, or having a life at all, or even not even having an unsuccessful life. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember there was a sadness about losing my life, or about it's a form, it's a way of dying. It's something not that real anymore. That can be very. I remember that sadness for a long time. Like, oh, and I don't even could say why, but it felt like that. Yeah, or depressed or something. Yeah, sure. Because that was the way, and then that's losing that. It's a loss. Yeah.
Everybody was talking about solid lives, and I didn't feel I have a solid life. And it felt like sort of pretending, you know, talking about my life, kind of almost making up. It wasn't a lie, but talking about things that are going, trying to give the impression that I have the same kind of thing that they have, you know, solid lives.
But anyway. That's a lot of energy is put in that make it that you have a life that's so strong. That has to be like that. So that costs a lot of energy. And when that's fading, it has some more energy, but it's still also a loss. This is about loss. Sure, then it's felt that it's really about loss.
Yeah.
That there can be sadness or depression or things like that. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And there was no way to hint at this sort of thing, to talk about this to anybody, because they were so busy making this a very important event. You know, my birthday, and this will remember this, and all this sort of thing.
Yeah, then there's no place for no, and it stays behind, because this is not something that wants to be told. You can't. There's only when there's a hearing, if there's somebody hearing it or somebody open to it, then there can be a talking like this. I don't talk about it most of the time. I don't talk about this. No, it can't. No, sure. That's different, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing. That's because then it's more obvious what is loss. Because when I'm talking about it, then you think, oh, it's about loss. But then it felt like, oh, there's something not there anymore. Such in this circumstances, it seems everybody's very convinced of their lives.
Yeah. And the children being very, the grandchildren being very hopeful about the future. They're and very excited about what's going to happen and all that sort of thing. Yeah. And they look successful. They look healthy, and of course it's good but yeah.
But the funny thing is, it's both. It's not that it's not like that, but it's apparent. It's that's the fullness also. But in the same time, you're feeling that emptiness. That like, oh, there's something also not there. But it's still also that, and maybe that's not felt all the time. But there's that emptiness that like, oh, it's something is fading away, or something it's not so strong there anymore. But there's also that fullness, that aliveness that can be there. Yeah.
I would have been just as happy not having this yesterday, not doing it.
Yeah, that's strange to say, huh? And still it's there. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Nothing is important. I think what is said here, you need to understand or to remember. You don't need to listen to this. You don't need to look at on YouTube and hear it again. You don't need anything. It's not important what I'm saying. It's not important to listen to me or to go to meetings or to do anything about this. It's everything. It's just what is going on. It's just what's happening. That sitting is it already. So when there's closing the computer, then that's what's happening. That's it. Or this where we talk about that this is not something special. It's just everything. It's just this moving or words coming. Words are not important or they don't have meaning. It's just words or thoughts going nowhere. This is going nowhere. It's just this and without any meaning, no why. It's very simple, it's very easy because it's already there. You don't have to do anything for it because the walking or that what's going on, the talking to somebody or anything, that's it. So you don't need to find it. It's already what is happening. That's the joy. It's just everything. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Bye. Doei.
Bye, Rose.
Bye, Dianoes.
Right.
Hi, Wilanda. Hi, Christine. Hi, Rutte. Dag Hugo.
Dankjewel,
Hi,
Rose.
Marianne. Hi, Anita. Dankjewel. Oh,